This one's gonna be about family, isn't it? Hey everybody, what's going on? Fasten your seatbelts and please forgive the thunder and lightning if you can hear it through the microphone. There's thunderstorms going on outside as I record. But today we're going to be talking about yet another Fast and Furious movie or Furious movie or Fast movie, whatever they're calling these days. Which now this one we're talking about is F9, the Fast Saga. Because they can't agree on a name, I guess. And by the way, I have my prediction for the next one's name. I don't know if it's gonna be Fast 10 and 11, or if they're doing. I've heard it. Okay, I'm off on a tangent already. But let's be honest, there's not much to talk about when it comes to this movie. I've heard that we're gonna have only Fast 10. Or we're going to have Fast 10 and 11. Or it's going to be Fast 10 Part 1 and Part 2. Because that needs to become a thing again, apparently. So I have a prediction on what I think they're going to call it. And probably a couple things that are going to happen. But let's talk about F9, the Fast Saga. God, I hate calling it that. It's one of the dumbest names since Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. Alright, so what you have is, it's about family, obviously. I'm sorry, but as I'm recording this, I'm really tired, and sitting through this movie yesterday, we'll get into that. What this movie is about is Dom and Letty are kind of living off the grid. When they're approached by some of their buddies, and they said, "We need your help." Mr. Nobody, Kurt Russell's character, his plane was shot down. He had captured Cypher, Charlize Theron's character, and they were transporting her and something else, because you gotta have a MacGuffin in these movies. But the plane was shot down, so they go investigate, even though Dom doesn't really want to go. Letty does, because apparently when she has to be doing, like, in the action for her memory to come back. So they all go, and they end up getting attacked by John Cena. Da 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 da. Which, by the way, you could actually see him in this movie. I know that joke's old, sorry. But anyway, Letty's like, "That's Jacob, isn't it?" So, Dom has a long-lost brother named Jacob. I mean, granted, the trailers have given this away. But they're all looking for this device. I believe it was called the Ares Project, that can destroy all the world's technology. Black out the Earth. If they blacked out the Earth, we wouldn't have any more of these movies. Okay, so that's your basic setup, and I'm going to warn you, I'm going to spoil this movie. But come on, it's a Fast and Furious movie, or a Furious movie, or a Fast movie, or again, whatever they're calling them. So, if you really don't want anything spoiled, I mean, come on, it's Fast and Furious movie. If you like it, if you like the series, you're probably going to like this one. But that being said, I thought this one was... I was surprised that it spent more time on character development than a lot of the other ones do. There were still big action set pieces, don't get me wrong, but the action wasn't anything spectacular. It was fine. So that was something that kind of surprised me with this one, is the balance of character versus action. But yeah, if you like these movies already, you're going to like this one. If you don't, this one isn't going to change your mind. And that's how they've been for a while now. So what did I think of the overall story? It was everything I expected it to be. There was no real surprises. First of all, it would have been smart to not give up all the secrets in the trailers, with, say, Han being alive, or even John Cena's character being Dom's brother, that might have made for some decent storytelling, but they gave all that away in the trailers. That being said, they give away everything all the time with these movies anyway. What did I like about the movie? Okay, I always liked the character of Han. Him being back is fine. How they have him back is fine enough. The things that I like in these movies are really outweighed by the things I don't. So what did I like? And this one's a bias for me. Helen Mirren's short appearance in this, of course, was good, but it's Helen Mirren. Charlize Theron is barely in this, even though they really tease in the trailers like she's the main villain. No, not really. I mean, she's definitely set up to be the main villain in the next one or next two or whatever they make. What else did I like? The mid-credits scene. I like the mid-credits scene, which, look, all of you that watch my stuff know that I was really disappointed with Hobbs and Shaw. That movie should have been awesome, and it was kind of lame. But the mid-credits scene, it was Shaw, and it was a good scene, and it's something that is probably teasing the next Hobbs and Shaw movie. Where, again, I'm spoiling everything here. There's a knock at his door. He's punching a punching bag, and it turns out there's someone in the punching bag that I guess he's questioning. And then someone knocks at the door, and ta-da, justice for Han. Han's at the door. He doesn't really do anything. I'm willing to bet they end up working together because, you know, he really didn't kill him and family. So yeah, that's what I liked. But yeah, Charlize Theron had, like, the best joke in a sea of terrible jokes. It takes forever to get to the punchline. I mean, when your main villain and Charlize Theron are having a discussion about what character the main villain is from Star Wars, and Charlize Theron pulls a fast one on him, it was funny. Then again, the movie's full of bad jokes. So yeah, that's what I liked. Everything else is the same. If you don't really have a connection to these characters, like I don't, even though I like some of the people in it, I'm not connected to these characters, and I never really was. I've never really been a huge fan of this franchise. I've had some fun with some of the movies, sure, but I don't have this huge attachment to these characters. So the character development, while fine, didn't really do much for me. I still can't stand Roman. And then him and Tej are still, I mean, I think they're still trying to get with the Game of Thrones girl, Ramsay. But of course failing miserably. But yeah, that's about it. Okay, here's what I really want to talk about with this, because everyone was like, okay, how we have to, since Paul Walker passed, we have to play how are we going to keep him out of this movie game. So for the last one, he just wasn't there, right? For this one, Mia shows up, his wife. And you're like, why would you send Mia? Well, they actually had a good reason. Well, since you're dealing with, Mia's Dom's brother, well, Jacob would be her brother too, so she had to show up to be there, to try to, get through to Jacob, right? So that makes sense. I mean, yes, look, she's not... Paul Walker's character was a trained agent. Why would you not want the trained agent on your mission? How did they keep him away? He was babysitting. He's babysitting Dom and Letty's kid and his own kids with Mia. Fine. Okay, you figured it out. You found a good reason to have Mia there instead of him. And he's watching the kids. But I'm telling you, you ain't going to be able to talk your way out of the next one. I don't know what they're going to do, but he's going to have to be in that last movie. Are they going to digitally put him in at the end? Probably. That's probably what they're going to do. But I know people hate hearing this. Fans of the series hate hearing this. But after the insult, I think fans are probably insulted by the end of this movie. Again, spoilers. We have a cookout because it's a Fast and Furious movie and family get together. You know, we have to have a cookout and lots of Corona, right? So everyone's at the table, and then all of a sudden they're like, Dom's like, there's an empty chair. And it's like, oh no, what are they going to do? Are they going to, they going to digitally bring Brian in? No, they don't. They show a car rolling up down the street, and it pulls into the driveway, and they cut to black. If I was really a fan of the series, I would be insulted. Me, it just doesn't bother me. I know you want to have the character involved, but I'm sorry, he's gonna have to be there at the end. Unless you're planning on killing off his character off screen, which they will not do, and that is the smart decision, you have to have him. I know people hate hearing this, but recast him. Bring in one of his brothers again. I'm not saying they have to digitally put Paul Walker's face on his brother, but instead of insulting people's intelligence by doing what they did in this movie at the end, again, the babysitting thing worked. But the end was, again, if I was a fan, I'd be insulted. You're going to have to bring him into the story somehow. Unless you're just not going to have Mia there in the end. If you're going to leave them all away, then that's the best case scenario for not having the character. But if you're going to have Mia there, what is he going to babysit again? No, because unless there's another long lost brother, God, the long lost. I'm sorry, I didn't buy the Jacob being his brother thing. That being said, there was tons of flashbacks and stuff trying to set that up, and it worked okay. Again, lots of character development here. But yeah, they aren't going to be able to dance around Paul Walker about that character not being there anymore. They can't do it anymore. Because, again, unless there's another long-lost brother or something, or a sister or whatever, you're not going to get away with it next time. It's like, oh, no, I'm just an untrained mom. I mean, she got into some fights in this, and they actually didn't make it look like she was some experienced fighter. So kudos to the movie for not all of a sudden making her like some martial arts expert, right? She was fighting people. Whenever she got into a fight a couple times, she was fighting dirty with, like pots and pans and stuff, right? Just throwing everything she could find at people. So they didn't try to make her like some expert. They did try to make Ramsey a natural at driving. That was kind of dumb. But if you go on any mission, especially going against Cypher in the end, which she'll be the ultimate villain at the end, you're going to want Paul Walker's character there because he's like a trained agent, a former trained agent. So they're going to have to recast him. I'm telling you, it's the smart move to do, and I think fans would understand because they'd want to see that character there. And then at the end, you throw in a we love you, Paul thing at the end, and people will understand. Story-wise, they need to do it. Will they? We'll see. I can predict the future a little bit. These are my predictions. Depending also on what happens in the next Hobbs and Shaw, because again, I think Han is going to be in the next Hobbs and Shaw, if that's what they were setting up in the mid-credits scene. Unless they're not making another Hobbs and Shaw, and then they bring back everybody for Fast 10, 11, whatever they're doing, that could be doing that too. So, that could be involved in the next movie or in its own separate movie. I don't know. But my predictions are They're going to bring back, and this also depends on if there's 1 or 2 movies. If there's 2 movies, they're going to bring back Gal Gadot, but she's going to be a brainwashed villain. Cypher's going to have brainwashed her somehow. So that'll give Han a storyline. Of course, she'll be okay in the end, and she'll rejoin everybody. Somehow she won't be dead. So, because apparently there's no stakes in these movies anymore, by the way. I know they're supposed to be just fun, stupid action movies, but it takes away from that fun, stupid action if there's no stakes. When they've killed off characters, those movies have a little bit more feel to them, have a little bit more oomph to them, because you're like, oh, someone can die. Now we've got, buildings falling on people, and there's not a scratch on them. And yes, Roman makes jokes about that. It's like, I'm surprised he wasn't winking at the camera. It's like, did you ever notice that we, we've been through all these crazy adventures and all that stuff. We must be superhuman. And then they make fun of him, and it wasn't that funny. So yeah, Gal Gadot will probably be coming back. If there's only one villain or one movie, then she probably won't be a villain. Then again, these movies are 2.5 hours long. I know I'm ranting a little bit here, but I'm sorry. A movie that is supposed to be fast, about being fast, and like live life a quarter mile at a time. Boy, these movies are long, and they seem really slow. Because this one, it dragged for me, and not drag racing. It dragged. So yeah, whether it's 1 or 2 movies, you're gonna have Gal Gadot return in some way, shape, or form. If there's 2 movies, she'll be a villain, and then become a good guy again. And I'm gonna predict the title, Fast 10, or as in fasten, like seatbelt. Makes sense. Will they do it? I don't know. But if they do, you heard it here. You heard it here first. Look, these movies have kind of lost me. I understand why people dig them. I do. And I don't... It's not one of those movies where it like insults my intelligence so much that I hate them. But that being said, the only reason I'm watching them now is because I do this, and I have my radio segment and everything. So it's kind of my job. I probably wouldn't go see these on my own, just as a fan. I don't know when they really lost me, because all the other ones at least had some things that I liked. But the main core storyline is usually not the strongest part of these movies for me. So, yeah, this one has pretty much everything a fan would want. All the reunions you could want, including the Han and Sean reunion that everyone... the whole time you're just like, are they going to bring Han and Sean together? I mean, they are kind of in the movie that they had to cram back into the story because we continued when Fast and Furious is supposed to be done after 2, and then they did Tokyo Drift. So yeah, it's all the reunions you could want. Most of the characters you want. There's no Hobbs. Like I said, you get Shaw in the mid-credit scene. I mean, you do have Gal Gadot in the movie. I'm not saying they brought her back. It was a flashback. But yeah, it's everything a fan could want in these movies. Ridiculous stunts, silly jokes that usually don't land. It's about family. I mean, everything you want in these movies. If you like them, you're going to like them. If you don't, you're not going to like this one. And again, for me, I wouldn't watch them if I wasn't doing this. So anyway, that's going to be all for this review. See you later.